Flip Flop Topics. We back. As you can, as you can tell, we're going to speak about some real shit. All right. Hope you guys like this. You know what I mean? Cause I like speaking about it. You know what I mean? It's therapeutic to me. You know what I mean? Because you never want to keep shit inside. You know what I mean? You always want to, you gotta let that shit out. You gotta let that shit out. You know what I mean? But, welcome back. Well, today, I'm going to tell you something that lived in my bones for fucking years, right? See, I was born in a place, right, where pain was louder than prayer and shit. No joke. And that was in Bakersfield, California, right? Not the kind of place you see on fucking postcards and shit, you know what I mean? But the kind of place where you learn how to survive and shit. Before you learn even how, you know, before you had how to love and shit, you know what I mean? But like I said, my mother, you know what I mean, smoked crack like it was a fucking communion and shit, you know what I mean? My brother, like I said, 20 years locked up, came back with a heart too heavy to hold, but he's pushing though, man. He's doing good though. Proud of him. And me, I was trying just to fucking disappear at one moment. You know what I mean? Like meth. It grabbed a hold of me and shit. You know what I mean? No family, no roots. Just ghost and guilt and mind too fried to fucking feel. You know what I mean? I had kids. But I was long gone, you know what I mean? I lived in the same motherfucking town, but never had time to pick up the phone. Knew where they lived. Never had time to go see how they were. But that was my fault. I was more a myth than a man at that point. I was just another absent father swallowed by smoke. You know what I mean? No excuse, but that's what it was. And I thought I was gonna die like that. Would have been easier, but never that though. Fuck that. Then I met my wife. Met her at the trap spot. Sure did. And guess where I proposed to her at? Take a wild guess. While I was in jail, in handcuffs, in the courthouse. She was in the back, you know what I mean, sitting down. I told my public defender and shit, hey, let me get a paper real quick. So let me give me a little paper in my fucking, you know. I said, hey, can you give this to at the time, you know what I mean, she was my girlfriend. You give it to my girlfriend real quick. I wrote it down and shit. I said, will you marry me? And And after course, she gave. I mean, well, no. I found out. I mean, she gave it to her, and I said, just nod your head if you say yeah, and go like, you know what I mean. She said yeah, you know what I mean. So that's how I proposed to her. Get told, but you know what I mean. It's not a fairy tale. You know what I mean. It was just two people too numb to be scared anymore. You know what I mean. We slept under bridges. We slept. I mean, shit, man. We was telling you, man. But yeah, shit. We traded dignity for fucking survival. You know what I mean? And somewhere in all that hell, we found each other. You know what I mean? We sure did. We found something worth crawling towards and shit. We left. We fought for our breath like it was borrowed and shit. You know what I mean? She detoxed. It didn't work though. After, you know what I mean? It didn't work. You know, no, it didn't work. You know what I mean? It was rough. It was rough. It was rough. But you know what I mean? There was like burning like old scripts that said we were born broken and shit. You know what I mean? And religion, man. I know there's a God. I know that. But I don't think we need the religion to get to him. I don't think we need religion, man. That's just me. But let me say this a little clearer though. You know what I mean? Because religion didn't save me. You know what I mean? I through life I watched myself bleed and shit. You know what I mean? Told me that I was a sinner. I was a sinner. Then passed the plate like shame was currency type shit. But I found God in the cold nights, and we didn't die. In the way my kids said, "Pops," or you know, me, they call me Papa, for the first time without flinching. In the way we held each other, it was clean. People want to preach to folks like me. Tell us we're living in sin. But we know what sin really is and shit, right? Sin is leaving people behind. What I feel. And sin is shaming the wounded while wearing the fucking robes of pride and shit. Sin is telling the man who made out the fire that he still ain't worthy and shit. But nah, I'm not your sin. I'm your mirror. I'm what survival looks like when it refuses to quit. And if that shakes you, good. That's good. Maybe you need to remember what grace looks like without a stage or a spotlight. But for the lost and the found and the still walking, Stay free. Stay real. And remember, your scars aren't they're not shame. They're proof you lived. You know what I mean? And you shouldn't be ashamed of that. You know what I mean? Nah. Shouldn't. Hold that motherfucker tight. Hold that motherfucker tight. And I don't want to spend that much time, but I want to talk a little more though. Being born, you know what I mean? Like in the valley of a storm and shit. Where thunder raised me and lightning called me son. I didn't crawl out the womb though. Nah. I clawed out of chaos. Nails dirty with my mother's crack smoke type shit. Lungs filled with the echoes of sirens and slammed doors and shit, you know what I mean? They tell me I was wrong. I was born wrong. Crazy, huh? That the rain soaked my soul because religion turned his face. Then I walked crooked because my roots were poisoned. But I was planted under a fucking concrete. And they expected me to fucking bloom like a rose and shit. I grew into a blade and shit, man. Sharp, bent, surviving. They built temples out of guilt. And they told me to fucking kneel. I walked in barefoot, bleeding and shit type shit, you know what I mean? And they stared at the dirt instead of the wound. I'm like, okay. They said, clean up yourself, boy. You're in the house of the Lord. I was like, wow, okay. But I was the house. You feel me? And the Lord had been renting space in my pain. Long before they handed me the Bible and shit. My mom's and shit, she danced with the glass dragon and shit. You know what I mean? Chased smoke like it whispered lullabies. My brother, 2 decades in the cage of clocks that don't tick. Time folding on itself and shit. His name forgot how to fucking sound free. And me, I was just a shadow that ran from the sun, basically. Meth in my lungs, regret in my teeth, kids I didn't raise, love I felt I didn't deserve. But like I said, I met my queen in the ashes though. Not a place, but it was a trap house. The streets was my ring. And when I look this way and shit, she was like a walking syringe and shit, man. Heroin and shit, you know what I mean? Just fucked up. And she was a hoe. She know it. Hey, gotta be real. But I accept it. I accept it. And and if somebody told you, if anybody tells you you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, that's fucking false. That's false. Because she's one hell of a woman now. But we were fire without direction. Two ghosts that refused to die. We could build fucking cathedrals under a fucking freeway. If we, that's how much, that was so much dedication we had, but under a false pretense, doing negative shit instead of doing it in a positive manner. But then I realized, right? Then I realized that religion don't live in steeples. They live in relapse and return. Right? In the voice that says, keep going. Just keep going. When your whole body begs you to stop, they live in the eyes of your child when they call you pops. You know what I mean? After years of silence. Right? Don't come to me with your polished crosses and shit. I've seen too many made of stone and shit, right? Built to shame, not saved. They say you live in sin. Hell no, I don't, dog. Tripping. I live in the truth. So do. Sin is at least tied to your belief that you've never knotted up, right? But I cut that rope though. Fuck that. I bled when I woke. You know what I mean? See? I believe for me, I don't need religion. You shouldn't either. You know what I mean? That tells you all the time and shit, man, that I'm broken just to sell me salvation. I need the truth that burns. You know what I mean? I need love that limps but keeps on walking. I need gospel written in scars and shit. Not gold leaf pages and shit. No. But still, I rise from the Bakersfield dust with a crown made of cracked sidewalks and a kingdom stitched from a rehab beds that had hard apologies. You know what I mean? My throne is my second chance. My kids, they know my voice now. And it sings. They don't scream now. Man. So to everybody out there, man, I say don't confuse survival with sin. Mistake. It's a horrible mistake. Don't confuse survival with sin. Don't let the men in robes rewrite your worth. You know what I mean? We are the scripture. We are the prayer. We are the ones who walk through the hell and back barefooted and live to tell the fire how it felt. I'm not your sin. I am not your sin. I'm your mirror, like I told you. And if the truth shakes you, and like I said before, good. That means you just touched the part that you're still hiding. Real talk. But it's crazy though. But yeah, but there's a saying that I wrote. It goes because my brother he told me, man, if you're gonna make these videos, you got to make sure you're on the video. You know what I mean? And like, cause he said it's basically, it's like it's the message that you're putting out is good, but they need to see the face that's putting out that message. You know what I mean? So he was like, you're leaving that layer out that they need to see. I said, you know what? You're right, bro. You're right. So that's why I'm doing it like this. But the saying that I wrote goes, love with your heart and not with your mind. What your eyes seek, your heart will find. And that's real talk. But yeah, I think this is a long 22 minutes. Yeah, we're gonna shut it down right here, dog. But hope you guys, took some out of this. And yeah, just like I said, man, never deprive yourself with no food for thought. Keep on going, keep on pushing this shit. If you don't know something or whatnot, or if it looks a little sketchy, motherfucker, just ask some questions, dog. You know what I mean? Shit. Do your research. Don't take shit as face value, just like I say, dog. Now, you gotta live your own life. You know what I mean? Don't run off somebody that said this and that, and because that's their truth. Not everybody's truth is their truth. So don't be a follower. Be your own leader and shit, man. And learn from others. You know what I mean? But also do your research on it, though. But appreciate it that you guys came in and watched this video or not. Like, I'm still new at this shit. You know what I mean? Subscribe and hit that like button and shit. Comment, you know what I mean? And tell others and shit. You know what I mean? Just put it out. Put it out there and shit. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'll come out and do another video. Probably a couple days and shit, whatnot. But yeah, I just got off work and shit. Got a new job. A little tired. But yeah. Well, hope you guys like this video and shit, and see. I'm thinking about I'm gonna put something out about like I said, the last video. about grabbing the drug or the alcohol. Remember I told you about that? But you could redefine the label of it. So, yeah, I don't do that one next though. But, all right, gotta go. Hope you guys like the video, man. And see you on the next one. I got to go to bed. You guys have a good night, man.